Hey everybody, this is going to Riverside FM. Can I change that? I can't. So I guess people who are on Riverside FM, they apparently have a channel there, and this stream is going there. So they're not going to understand this episode at all. I should go find out where these actually stream on Riverside FM because usually have that turned off. So here I am. No one's joining me yet. Get some people in the chat chatting away because I'm not terribly excited to talk about this. I got sort of talked into doing this. I am no fan of, and I don't even want to say it, what today is. It is the fourth day in the month of May. Some people call that Star Wars Day. I do not. I do not call it Star Wars Day. I hate the word Star Wars Day. And I brought this up on the regular show last week, and it's just not my thing. Listen, I love Star Wars. I've loved it ever since I was a kid. And I grew up in the 80s. I was born in 77, about 3 months before Star Wars actually came out. And I basically just grew up with it my entire life. I love the trilogy. I love the two Ewok movies. And then after that, like, there was no Star Wars. Star Wars was like nowhere to be seen. And I was fine with that. Um, if I talked about Star Wars, people would give me shit. They thought I was stupid. They thought I was a nerd. And so I just enjoyed Star Wars by myself. Um, I have a few copies of Star Wars on VHS, a couple of box sets, and both of them mention that Star Wars came out on May 25th, 1977. And so that's when I would celebrate Star Wars by myself. Would be May 25th would be Star Wars Day. It's the day that Star Wars came out. It's the day that Return of the Jedi came out. It's the day that Solo, a Star Wars story, came out. So for me, it was just one of those things where I would watch my videotapes by myself all the time, and definitely on and around like the 25th of May, my Star Wars Day, Orthodox Star Wars Day. Um, in 1996, I started working at Disney, and I met a lot of friends, and they happened to be Star Wars fans as well, which was amazing. Uh, so when like George Lucas announced the special editions in '97, um, see, I have a lot to say about that. Will I definitely have a lot to say about that. Um, when the special editions came out in 1997, me and my friends went multiple times to see the special editions. We loved them. Jedi Rocks, not so much, but for the most part, like, it was nice. It was nice having friends around to enjoy Star Wars with. We would go see the prequels. Saw Star Wars Episode 1, Episode 2 at the Chinese Theater in Hollywood, which is appears on the cover of Green Lantern 601, which we discussed a couple weeks ago with Will. Um, and then at in Wilshire, is that what it's called? This is where we saw Episode 3 because it wasn't showing at the Chinese Theater for Episode 3. Um, Dave, if you look up Orthodox Star Wars Day, if you do a Google search for Orthodox Star Wars Day, chances are a picture will come up of my other podcast, Live Action Star Wars, that I do with my friend James, which is a show that we created while we're waiting for Invincible Season 2. Orthodox Star Wars Day, May 25th. Highly recommend people celebrate Star Wars on that day, but of course they don't. And Will says now it's cool to be a nerd. This is what I think. And you know me, I try not to yuck on other people's yums. I try to be positive, but people who never post about Star Wars stuff except for May the 4th are basic bitches. And I think they're fucking phonies. I saw an ad. I got so many ads today on Instagram for Chiquita Banana, where they had like a Chiquita Banana dressed as a Jedi. And I'm like, fuck those guys. They don't care about Star Wars. They're jumping on a trend. They're jumping on a trend. Uh, um, God, there's people I follow, like old ass people who are using some sort of AI generating thing where they're dressed as Jedi. And I'm just like, just stop. Just stop. You literally don't talk about Star Wars the rest of the year. Be a Star Wars fan if you're going to be a Star Wars fan. But it's almost like May the 4th is some sort of like day where it's okay to be a Star Wars fan. And the rest of the time, they're either just not Star Wars fan or they're closeted Star Wars fans. And coming from a dude who was a closeted Star Wars fan for like 17 years, uh, um, like be proud of that and post it all the time. Don't wait for one day where it's okay for everybody to say, that they like Star Wars. Vactor, I know you've heard this rant before many times. Uh, the fourth, the fourth day in May versus Orthodox Star Wars Day. I mean, guys, look at. I have a signed Ahmed Best Jar Jar Binks picture on my wall. It's always been there. I have a BB-8 lino cut um, stamped piece of artwork from my friend Oscar, who's a friend of my friend Dustin, who did. Oh, he's not over there. But like, I like Star Wars. I've been a fan of Star Wars. Like, had this guy when I was a kid. It's die-cast metal, Millennium Falcon, little Han and Chewie inside there. This is from like 1979 or something. It's dope. It's rad. I have this U-wing that my wife gave me because she knew that I really liked Rogue One, and I thought the U-wing was a cool ship. I like it in this version better than the open wings. I guess the S-foils. My favorite Star Wars ship is Blockade Runner, Tantive. That's what I call it, the Tantive, because that's what it says on the radio dramas. They call it the Tantive. The mini rig, of course, with my favorite bounty hunter, Bosk. I think Boba Fett's a fucking loser. Bosk for the win. But I don't need him in the Mandalorian. I need Bosk to be my dude. I have this Tommy Jenkins, who is a member of the Secret Society, gave me this Ewok phone. And that's all it does. It makes noises. It looks like a Flintstone. It literally does. It's just a piece of plastic. It does nothing. I really don't talk about Star Wars that much because I focus the show on Green Lantern. Chewbacca shampoo is a prize from my youth. I remember my mom had gotten me a Chewbacca shampoo when I was a kid, and you just keep refilling it with, like, once this was discontinued, you just refill it with other soap. It's missing the little screw-on cap, the squeezy thing, but Chewbacca shampoo. I don't know what year that is. Doesn't even say the year on it. But I love this little Chewbacca. So, like, I have a lot of Star Wars shit. I think that's all I have. Like, I have a wood toy Jar Jar. I have a wood toy Darth Vader. My sister gave me these. They're little bendy guys. I still have the greatest set. Well, not the greatest set, but the THX widescreen version. And I have my original Oh, I can't even get to it. Let's see here. Sorry, guys. The original widescreen hologram with Luke and Leia uh, trilogy on VHS. VHS with the from Star Wars to Jedi um, thingy documentary. So I mean, I have like another version of from Star Wars to Jedi. I have the making of Star Wars, which came in like pops or corn pops, cereal box things. Sent away from that. I have my original pan and scan version of that. I have like, listen, like I like Star Wars. I've always liked Star Wars. Um, so Vector, I don't, I don't know. I know I know it's good. People have been saying it's good. People said Bad Batch was good. I watched like a season of Bad Batch. I had like zero interest. My interest is very low on Star Wars animated. I've seen one episode of Visions, didn't care for it. Saw one episode of Resistance, didn't care for it. Loved Rebels, loved Rebels. Watched all of Clone Wars. But again, those were at times when there wasn't other Star Wars. Um, but now that since there's so much Star Wars out there, that I kind of just pump my brakes. I'm really only waiting for Star Wars movies to get me excited, and this Mandalorian versus Grogu one is not blowing up my skirt. What did you? Oh, this is what I'm trying to show. There we go. Man, one of these days, these guys are gonna get um, these custom emojis to show up in the thing. Will maybe I'll send them. I'll send Riverside a. I'll send them a message asking. I don't hate Boba Fett. Here's the thing with Boba Fett. It's so funny because like when I was a kid, I thought Boba Fett was kind of neat, you know. But I mean, I thought all of the bounty hunters were neat. Bosk was my favorite. I like Dengar. I think he's stupid looking, and I love it. I like Forlom or 4LOM, IG88, Zuckus. I'm sure I'm forgetting someone, but I like all those dudes. I like all of them. But I like Bosk the most, and it was so funny because Boba Fett was like really nothing. I know he caught or he was able to track Han and Chewie, and I know he looks cool, but he's really not a character. He's just kind of shows up in Empire Strikes Back, shows up in Return of the Jedi, and just gets killed like unceremoniously. Like Boba Fett was never a thing, but then like Dark Horse comics come out and toys come out, and people get this insane following for Boba Fett, and Boba Fett becomes bigger than George Lucas probably like ever intended, and there was very little information about Boba Fett, and so due to the popularity, Lucas goes and puts Boba Fett in Attack of the Clones, ages him down to like a proper age that he believes is how old Boba Fett was, and people weren't happy with it. I didn't care. I was like, you didn't make Boba Fett lame by showing him as a little kid. He's just nothing of a character. So I don't really hate Boba Fett. He's just like kind of whatever. I'm gonna talk a little bit about Green Lantern. We'll get back into sort of the Star Wars stuff in a minute. Um, yes. So I've been saying for a long time that I'm tired of sort of these Star Wars shows and movies sort of being slotted in the middle of other Star Wars stories. So as much as I love Andor, I think Andor is brilliant. You know what's going to happen. You know where Mom Mothma is going to end up. You know where Andor is going to end up, and the Death Star and everything. It's a really good, compelling story, but I'm tired of like stuff just being shoved in. I know how Darth Maul dies. So watching the Darth Maul show, I'm like, well, he's not going to die because I've seen Rebels, you know? So it's one of those things where I'm just like, stop putting stuff in the middle of things. I like Solo a lot because I, even though I knew Solo or Han and Chewie were going to live, it was a completely just different story outside of anything. They didn't they didn't explain like, and I like Rogue One, but they didn't have to explain every little thing about the Death Star. But anyway, so for me with Starfighter, um, like it's new, right? It takes place after the sequel trilogy. Takes place after the Rise of Skywalker. It's a new group of characters. I'm sure we're gonna get some cameo from some fucking buddy. Like Wilro Hood is gonna be like the most famous starfighter pilot in the galaxy, and there's gonna be a whole thing about him. Like the potential of Starfighter is great. A movie made for the big screen doesn't gonna just look like a 2 hour version of a TV show. If I wanted to watch a 2 hour version of The Mandalorian on the big screen, I'd go watch fucking Predator Badlands again because that's what that felt like. And I know people love Predator Badlands, but I felt like it was just a 2 hour episode of Mandalorian on the big screen. I'm tired of watching protagonists walk around a planet silently and just dealing with CG character after CG character and the ecosystem. I don't care about the ecosystem. Mandalorian's boring. There's an episode where like Phil Tippett comes and does stop motion creatures. I'm like, this is amazing. But to get there, we had to watch Mandalorian Din Djarin walk through the same fucking cave for like 20 minutes. I'm like, why am I watching the Mandalorian walk through a cave for 20 minutes? This is not George Lucas. This is not faster. This is not more intense. It's boring. I do not like that show. After the potential of the pilot episode of The Mandalorian, episode 2 was garbage. it's like it's like they set up this cool thing where here's the Mandalorian and he's a very specific code that he has to live by, and he's very strict, and he's supposed to do his job. And at the end of that, he doesn't kill the creature he's supposed to kill, and he has to go into hiding protecting this creature that he was going to kill. And that has so much potential. It's like, oh my gosh, the other Mandalorians are going to find out that he didn't finish his bounty, or his hunting. He's not going to get his bounty. Everybody in the galaxy is going to be after him, and he's got to like deal with all these Mandalorians coming after him for breaking the code, while like just people who hired him are going to come after him as well. And all this happening while sort of in the fallout of the events of Return of the Jedi. Like so much potential, so much potential. I'm like, this is going to be amazing. Episode 2 is the Mandalorian walking around a desert trying to get an egg for Jawas. And I'm like, what are you doing? This is stupid. So, yeah, I mean, listen, you can try to sway me the other way. There is fun stuff in that show. There's fun stuff in that show, but not a lot. There's the story. It always says like written by Jon Favreau, and I know it's just him like doing bullet points of stuff he wants to see, and then he just jumps into the volume and just wanders around walking. Agreed. Ludwig Göransson's score is great. Who's the guy? Shirley. I forget his first name. Who's doing the other episode? The other seasons is okay. The music's good. Sarah's here. Hey, how's it going? I'm just bitching about Star Wars on the 4th day of May, which is not Star Wars Day. I'll be getting to. Let me get to the main thing in a little bit. I just want to give a shout out to my friend Philippe, who got me this and gave it to me over the weekend. It's pretty beat up. I just realized, but that's totally fine. I don't care. Um, does anybody in the chat know what this is or the significance of this Spanish version of Green Lantern the Flash, um, part one? I bet Vactor might know. No, it's not Star Wars Day. Don't. I mean, first of all, we got Kyle Rayner, and I think this is Wally West. Um, but yeah, Vector. This Spanish version of this thing was on Lost, and there's the page that we see in the show Lost. Walt finds this in the wreckage, this Spanish version of this Green Lantern Flash book. It's pretty cool. I don't know really much about it. Ron Mars wrote it, and I'm trying to see who did the artwork. I don't speak Spanish. But Bart Sears, Andy Smith, Jeff Johnson, Ron Lim, Tom Greenberg. I'm assuming one of them are the artists, or they're all the artists. Um, but yeah, it's a pretty cool book. And I tagged Damon in it because this is what I believe the island is in Lost. So yeah, it's really cool. Thanks to Fleep. I should try to read this, not with not knowing Spanish that well, and see if I can't decipher it, and then maybe do an episode review on this. But yeah, I like that it has Jay Garrick and Alan Scott in there too. So yeah, I'm really stoked on that. Who's yeah, it was Hurley's. It ended up being Hurley's comic. Someone mentioned something up here that I want to mention. Oh, Dave. Boba Fett is a ripoff of The Rocketeer. Boba Fett was created by Joe Johnston, who went on to direct The Rocketeer. So that's fun. His little fun adventure, little side quest there. So my friend Philippe gave me this book, right? He also gave me a 3D printed little four-toed statue from Lost, but then he also gave me something else, which I thought was amazing. I mean, I can use the Google Translate app, right? But wouldn't it be fun for me to try to figure out, based on my 3 years of high school Spanish that I did not do very good at? That might be a fun. We'll see. We'll see. So anyway, in addition to him giving me this, I can't reach it, but he gave me a four-toe statue, and then he 3D printed me a ring. Isn't that cool? Check that out. So it's kind of based on the lanterns ring. I don't know if you can really. My camera doesn't really focus well. Um, but for me, it was a little small. But it fits Stevie perfectly. So I actually took this back from her so I could show it on the show. But it's fun. It's just a little 3D printed plastic ring. He said it's a little more silvery than he wanted, and he said he's going to do more of a clear thing for the next round. He said he just needs my ring size, which, if you guys watched the stream last week, you know I don't know my ring size. Will, I'll get that ring size for you. Stevie said she was going to help me do that. So, um, yeah, that's funny. Um, so yeah, thanks to Philippe for that. It was very surprising that I got that. Maybe I could stick it on my pinky, but it would, yeah, it almost fits on my like ring finger. It's just a little too snug. Um, so I'll just stick it on my middle finger in there. It'll just go to here. Do this. So yeah, speaking of lanterns, I don't know what's going on with Ring Foundry. Ring Foundry took down their sort of TV version of this from their Instagram, and I don't see it on the site. So I am going to put two and two together and say that maybe DC came after them. I know Ring Foundry said that they should get people to maybe sign up for their newsletter. So I will pass that along to you guys. Head over to the Ring Foundry. You'll know the page when you see it because it's got a bunch of willpower rings on there. I'm not going to say they're rings from any sort of specific IP. They're just willpower rings. And I recommend that you sign up for their mailing list because they're saying that they recommend people sign up for their mailing list. So I don't know what's going on. Um, totally. I mean, shit. I don't know why I haven't even done that yet. Have a ring on the dashboard. Like, is that should be like a thing, right? We should all do that. So anyway, I reached out to the Ring Foundry. In fact, I might just do a quick little. I'm gonna check Instagram real quick, just to see if they said anything because I sent them a message. They sent me a response. I won't say anything. Yeah. Um, okay. So let's just say that my hunches with the Ring Foundry um, um, may be true. That maybe they were asked to be taken down. So maybe I'll reach out to them and just say, hey, come on the show. Let's talk about it. Will, dude, Will, I want to see it. Can I send you the link to the stream and you jump on and show us? Because I want to see it. And this is behind a paywall, so like DC's not going to see it or anything. I'm going to send you a thing. If you can do it, if you can do it, like try to do it. If you can't, I totally get it. Um, I know you can always send like you can text me a photo. Where are you? There you are. I'm gonna send you a studio link. Will sent me this morning. Let's talk a little Green Lantern. Comicbook.com posted an article, which was an interview with Chris Mundy that said Lantern's grounded superhero show decision officially addressed after fan reaction, and it's basically a Chris Mundy thing. And Chris Mundy, in that, oh yeah, we're gonna get clean shaven Will in about 5 minutes. Okay, I'm cool with that. Yeah, 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 totally, 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 totally. I'll talk about this article while you're doing that. But in the article, Chris Mundy said, "quote We wanted to we wanted it to be accessible for everyone, or for anyone. Sorry. Um, let me enlarge it so I can read this. We wanted it to be accessible for anyone who doesn't know the canon, but at the same time, satisfying for people who know the lore in minute detail. So basically, it's what I've been saying this whole time is you can't dump all this lore onto people who watch HBO shows on Sunday. You have to give them a sort of grounded footing before you take off and go into space. So everyone, I think, should chill. Also, if you get a chance to go to the channel, go read some comics with Jenna. Jenna did a whole thing on what is a superhero, what is the superhero genre. I highly recommend that because here's the thing: there's definitely Marvel fatigue. Marvel fatigue is real, but with DC starting over again and doing this reboot with Superman, it's nice that they're not just doing superhero movies like copy and paste, formulaic. Superman felt different. Superman felt like you picked up a random book off a spinner rack and just were thrown into the middle of the story. Um, uh, Lanterns looks like a completely different universe. It looks very grounded and very real. Clayface looks like a body horror movie. And so for me, like I find that mixing things up really, really refreshing. And I feel like that's what's going to keep DC going is by continually throwing curveballs and doing like different kind of things. Um, right? Everyone relax. I don't get it. Like, there's been so many Green Lantern fans showing up out of the woodwork, just like, bashing on a thing that they don't haven't even seen and probably don't know enough about to form their own opinion. I'm sure a lot of people know Green Lantern and have their own opinions of how the direction the show's going, but there's a lot of people out there that are just like, Green Lantern's supposed to this and Green Lantern's supposed to blank. And as Will talks about on his podcast and his shorts, doing some fact checking, it's like, well, actually, you're not right. Like, actually, there is a precedent for some of these things. Um, yeah, go read some comics. Jenna is the queen of DC. Yeah, she's great. She's great. I've reached out to her before. I should reach out to her again. Uh, uh, she's great, and she's super excited about lanterns. And I think her take on everything is the correct take. Um, Never knee jerk reactions. Um, you know, yeah, thoughtful, thoughtful. I come on these things and just like start spouting shit. I don't really write anything down ahead of time. I know I'm supposed to be talking about like the Jedi Council and the Guardians of the Universe, but honestly, um, I did it basically as like a Star Wars kind of clickbaity thing. I'm the Chiquita Banana of Green Lantern podcast, where like once a year I'll just say something Star Wars related. And it's just because today is the first Monday of the month, which is when I do my member live streams. Thanks to every member who's shown up and supported me over these last couple of years. Um, but yeah, I feel I was like, the first of the month in May was the fourth, and I'm like, oh boy. So I'm like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's mention that. Um, so yeah, Chris Mundy. They listen. These guys understand what they're doing. They're not stupid. Let them cook, as Vector would say. I'm sure the show will cook. I have stuff set up for. I'm ready, getting ready for the August 16th release. Um, I think Factor. I talked to you. I talked to Will. Like, you guys are all invited. You're all invited to join me on the show after each episode. Um, yeah. Well, I mean, I want one. Yeah. I wanna collaborate. Yeah. Let me get some water here. Oh, I did a podcast. I was a podcast guest earlier today at like 3 hours ago, and it was like 2 hours long. So I'm a little out of it. Yeah, I'll get you. I'm watching this thing as soon. Like, I'm hitting refresh on my Apple TV to watch Lanterns, and I think it's going to be dropping at 6 o'clock my time. And so, like, I think I'm gonna schedule the streams for 7:15 our time. Hey, there he is. What's up, dude?
What's up, man? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
Got to keep an eye out for the baby. He's taking a nap, just waiting for him to wake up.
All right. Anytime you need to bounce, it's cool. It's good to see
Yeah,
you.
always
Yep.
good to see you.
Dude. So, like, yeah, I need to get a hold of Ring Foundry. I need to get you my ring size. I will do
Yes.
that. Stevie says she has like some printouts she can do to figure that stuff out, and she'll take care of it. I'll just
Well,
remind her tonight.
today I was showing off some pictures of these two.
Oh,
This was the original one by Willpower made, and then this is the
yeah.
updated version, which if you see the gold is a lot thicker
Yeah.
on it, and the green
Oh
pops in
man.
the middle a little bit
Oh
more.
man, that looks so cool.
But then
Do you got
I
a
got
Ring
this
Foundry one? You haven't
this.
even opened it?
No, I did
Oh,
because
okay.
I
I was like,
opened
oh
it just to
man.
confirm, and then they ship it in that green bubble packing, which is cool.
Yeah.
And then it's got a
Oh,
Green Lantern
nice.
stamp on it.
Yeah, it's like a wax, like a
Yeah, like a
wax
wax
indentation.
seal. Yeah,
Dude, that's
like he's from House
cool.
Targaryen or something. Um, I have not put it on my finger yet. I haven't taken it out yet.
Holy smokes!
But this
Look at
this
that.
ring, I'm telling
I
you,
should.
the amount of like on the actual sides, it's
Oops, hold on.
layered.
Oops, hold on. I'm trying to make you big. There we go.
Yeah, I'm
That's what we
already
want to
big.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you look at this, like the circles around the middle part of the ring, those are
Hmm.
raised up from the sides of the ring as well. Like I don't know if I'll be able to. You can see it's boosted up a little bit.
Oh yeah,
It's like the quality of this and the
dude.
feel.
It kind of looks like the shot we got the other day when they announced the August 16th.
Boom!
Oh,
Like this,
dude,
it is even got like the weathered
dude,
sides to it. It fits my finger. Like this is an incredibly nice. Like
dude.
when I say, look, you gotta, money's money, the way things are in the
Yeah,
economy today. But like this is an
dude.
expensive ring.
That
I
looks
I do
amazing.
think that this is worth every penny, but this is or the new one. This one compared to this one here is like a quarter of the price of this one. And if you're
Right.
wearing them at like a con, nobody's gonna walk by if you're wearing this and really question it.
But
But if you
but
want the
what's
like, oh shit,
yeah.
this is really awesome. Somebody
So
holds this, the
one's
weight of this. Ooh,
yeah. So one's for a con where you don't mind it bumping into all the nerds. The other one's for like the green carpet event for the premiere of Lanterns.
yeah, this would be like the if you wore this on the green carpet or you were doing an interview with Kyle Chandler or Aaron Pierre or Nathan
You're
Fillion.
holding that microphone. You just got that thing just like, oh man.
This is I mean, and again, this is heavy, boy. And yeah, if you see, you can see through to the other side from the bottom on this one. My
Yeah.
only gripes with the other one is on the bottom. You can see like bumps from how it was made or whatever, and it's like
Uh-huh.
that on the top part of the inside too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's under your hand. Nobody's really gonna see it, but
Right.
in person, this Ring Foundry ring is this
Oh
thing is
man.
something else. I I'm excited to do the review on it. I'll probably record it
You do it tonight?
tomorrow.
You just
Maybe
shaved.
maybe tonight.
Do it
Maybe.
tonight, man. I want to see like some I want to see some like
Yeah.
4K river like up close. The
Yes.
photos you took were amazing. I think that was the
I
other ring
actually
too.
do. The baby is waking up.
Okay. All
Wait.
right.
Wait. The baby might be back down.
Well, let me know if you need to split. Go for it. I've already
Yeah.
like that's like yeah.
It's it feels incredible in the hand. Like,
Dang. See, that's the thing too. Like I know I'm not seeing it in person. Obviously, I'm seeing it like on a screen like I normally see them.
yeah.
But like just seeing it like held like it looks so cool.
If
It
I
just looks
could,
so cool.
showing you like it's not gonna when I take the pictures of it, it'll be a lot easier. But showing like the actual crushed emerald like vibe
Yeah.
that's going on here, like
Yeah.
this thing is
That's
so
sick.
pretty. It's ridiculous in person. This is like my first time really checking it out because I
Yeah.
took it out. I just wanted to see that it was here and that it wasn't damaged in shipping or anything. And then I just put
Yeah.
it back off to the side because I was just posting pictures of the updated version of the other ring. I didn't expect this one to deliver today. It said it was going to arrive on Wednesday. So, another plus, faster shipping than anticipated.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just been.
Dude.
Now I'm waiting for the wife to come home with some Chick-fil-A. Kid was at soccer. Ralph's out here doing more podcasting
I
type stuff.
I know
Feels like things are
it's
getting
the
back to normal.
dude. I love it. Like I would I like if I were you, I'd be sitting there sipping my lemonade and just staring at the ring.
Well, I mean, that's probably what's going to be happening after dinner. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you and Stevie, somebody needs to get me a ring size because I'll tell you what, even outside of these, I've been reaching out to some other companies asking for review units of things, and they've been more
Uh,
than willing to send review units. And if I knew what your size was, maybe you could be doing some of those reviews as well
right.
with your
I have
boy.
no I have no idea what I'm going to talk about in 2 days on Wednesday. I don't have
Well,
a
you can still go over the Monday thing, even though it's really a nothing burger. I even put that in all my social posts. There's not really much in
yeah
this article, and it is what
yeah
people have been saying. Like
yeah.
the baby is waking up. I am gonna run, but I'm
All
watching
right,
on my
dude.
phone. I'll check you out in a little
All right.
bit.
Thanks for stopping by. That's awesome. Holy cow! Like, listen, when I first saw the ring in the one picture, I was like, it's all right. It's all right. But it's since have like changed, and then seeing it on the dash in the 12 seconds sizzle, I was like, oh, you know what? That's kind of cool looking. Now I'm kind of like fully like into that design, and to be honest with you, like that version's pretty great. The Ring Foundry, who made the one that he was talking about, the sort of like super expensive one, I think it's like north of like 300 maybe. I think he was. I think the Ring Foundry who made that one also makes an anodized ring, which is like 170 bucks, I think, 179, and it's more of the style of the classic comic book. Imagine this, but without this sort of extra bit, and it's not painted. It's the actual metal, the aluminum is actually dyed green. I did show this last week, and I'll show it again. Basically, the way my phone is this sort of dyed green. It's hard to see because you're getting the reflection of the monitor, but like it basically looks like this. And that's what I really want, but they don't. I don't think like I did a quick measure of my middle ring finger, and I'm like, they don't have it in my size, even the largest one. And I don't want to wear it on another finger other than my right middle because that's where they go. So, yeah. So basically, I've just been wearing this thing, which is the 2011 version, which looks very similar to the Guy Gardner one. But man, yeah, Will needs to make a nanny construct. I mean, I think I think Guy Gardner's made, a maid, like a French maid before. So yeah, that's so funny. Um, that was cool. That was so cool. And now I want one of those rings real bad. I'm sure whatever ring that DC gives us is going to be shitty. I'm still not a fan of the Guy Gardner version of the ring that they released. The green is too light. The green should look more like this this green as opposed to this jello lime jello looking thing. I swear to God, Vactor, if you're still listening, I'm gonna send you yours. I have two of them for you. I just need to like find a time. Maybe I'll do it Friday. Friday's payday, or Thursday even. Maybe I'll ship those off. But I really want to get those to you because they'll probably fit your kid's finger for sure. Maybe your wife, but for me, it doesn't even fit my pinky. My big old hands. Um, do you guys wanna chat about the Guardians and the Jedi Council? Because I really don't have much to say about it. I'm really hoping people don't come to this and expect like to have like this really great in-depth thing. I only wanted to talk about how basically the Jedi Council is a bunch of old, out of touch uh, uh, dudes with yaddle, um, who sit around in their council and just discuss world of or galactic events or whatever, while the actual Jedi are out there in the field getting the work done, and the Jedi, because they're so arrogant, and the council just sits in their high tower without like going in, actually opening their eyes and seeing what's happening in the galaxy, and they're so far away from like nature. They're on Coruscant, which is completely covered in technology. It's like they're so out of touch that they got blinded by what the Sith was doing. Right. The Guardians are the same. The Guardians sit on their high tower, sit in a circle, bunch of old men, one two women, Scar and Sade. There might be other female guardians, but they're all old. They're blue. They're not white, but they have white hair, and they're out of touch with the whole universe. They have their Green Lanterns out there doing stuff. I think it's one of the things that the Green Lantern movie got right, was the fact that the Guardians were sort of so far up their own ass that they couldn't actually see like the threat of like Parallax. So and the funny thing is, it was like the Jedi, they like failed and the Sith took over. With the Guardians, they had the Manhunters; those failed, and instead of like learning their lesson, they ended up creating another sort of police force, uh, but this time with like actual beings, not AI robots. So yeah, it's basically. I feel like they're very very similar. I'm not saying like George Lucas took the concept of the Guardians or anything like that, but I feel like anytime there's some sort of, you're dealing with like soldiers and stuff, and you're dealing with officers of some sort. Even when you're working at a job, Darren's here. We worked at Disneyland. We were out there working custodial, and we would always just like get frustrated with management because we would try to get stuff done and we would point out things that need to get done, and the managers would either not listen or not care or not understand why the problem was a problem because they weren't out there looking and seeing what was going on. So I feel like it's a theme that goes through all the like a lot of stuff. Darren does mention that you should compare him to the Guardians to the Watchers from Marvel. I don't read a lot of Marvel, but I do have a sort of a vague um, uh, idea of the Guardians. They look very similar, huh? They kind of bald with the big collars and stuff. I have this Guardian PVC figure, and it's basically like the Watchers are very similar, like very very like with the collars and the blue and I don't know if the Watchers are blue, but they definitely have like similar like bald heads with pointy ears and stuff. I mean, this Guardian doesn't have pointy ears. I think this is actually Ganthet, because this came out in the late '90s. So I got a copyright. Oh, this is 2000. Yeah, so this is probably Ganthet. Um, but yeah, they're very similar, and I think it's a theme that runs through a lot of stuff. Is basically corporate versus the blue collars. Um, so yeah, it's one of those themes where I'm sure George Lucas, he wasn't pulling from Green Lantern. Green Lantern obviously didn't pull from Star Wars because they created the Guardians something like 25 years before Star Wars, or and definitely like way before the prequels where they had the Jedi Council. Um, Jedi Council was mentioned, I think, in Empire Strikes Back. Um, Yoda mentions a council, I think. Yeah. But yeah, it's it's something that's relatable. A group of people making all the decisions and basically affecting the people that have to deal with those decisions. Man, I'm really thirsty today. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if anybody has thoughts on this. Um, would you rather work for the Guardians or would you rather work for the Jedi? You get to carry around cool weapon, both based on light. Um, Different species from all around the galaxy. In the case of GL, the universe. Um, but yeah, 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 totally. And I feel like when I go online, I'm the only person that actually likes that show because I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it felt like Green Lantern Corps to me. And I think I might have said that on live action Star Wars, where you get to see the inner workings of actually how the Jedi work, and the hierarchy and stuff like that. I think that show is really well done. Yeah, the leaders of Krypton, Those guys that have their heads way up their ass. Um, Jor-El, of course, being the person who was, had his head screwed on straight, much like Ganthet. Um, Ganthet is kind of like that person in the Guardians. Ganthet's like the only Guardian. Ganthet and Sade are the only Guardians where I'm just like, they're trying to make things right. They're trying to do things the correct way. You should probably listen to them, but the others are so like set in their ways that that they just let things get jacked up. It's so funny that the Guardians are Malthusians, and they are basically the same race as the Zamorans. And the Zamorans basically were like, screw the Guardians. The Guardians suck. We're leaving them behind. And they became the sort of the overseers of uh, the Violet Lanterns, the Lanterns of Love. So at one point, the Guardians and the Zamoronians, um, were basically the same. And Zamoronians were like, Guardians are, their heads are so far up their ass, we're taking off and starting our own thing. Um, I agree. I agree. At least it was like 100 years or something. At least it was like far enough away from the prequels that you weren't like inundated with a bunch of the same like characters that were, you're not going to get cameos by Walrus Man in the Acolyte. I know Kiadamundi was in the background, and that was a sort of a source of contention for some Star Wars fans who knew, like, I think it was a card game or an article that mentioned how old Kiadamundi was at one point. I was just happy to see Kiadamundi because of all the Jedi in the prequels. He was my favorite. I thought he was cool. I really liked him. I liked his design. I thought he was neat looking. Um, and he was showcased a little more than some of the other Jedi Council members. So for me, I did like seeing Kiadamundi. Did not care to see Yoda. I think that was a little bit fan servicey. But for the most part, I'm just glad the Acolyte was a completely different story. We didn't have um, it wasn't like the Rebel Alliance versus Empire or First Order and stuff. So it was at least enough in the past to where it didn't really I didn't have to like see like sixth season of Clone Wars in order to understand it. It was like it's over here. It's just its own thing existing, and I really appreciated that. I like the twins. I like the idea of the twins and all that stuff. I like the stranger, I think is what they were calling him. I forget if they gave him a name, um, but I liked all of that stuff. I liked all of it. I thought it was a lot of fun. They treated it more like a mystery, like Rashomon, which I thought was nice because Star Wars can get really stale. I think that's one of the reasons why I'm not the biggest fan of The Mandalorian is because there's not a lot of intrigue to that. It's just walking and fighting and flying and fighting and fighting. With the Acolyte, I like that they did like, okay, we're gonna do kind of a murder mystery, Rashomon style genre, just set in the Star Wars universe. I like that Andor was like a political thriller, like Michael Clayton, which Gilroy also did. But this sort of political thriller, intrigue, war, spy story, it just happens to be set in the Star Wars universe. Like I like when they bend genres and just set it in the Star Wars universe. I don't need any more stories of the rebellion versus the Empire. I liked Solo a lot because even though it did have characters in a timeline that we were familiar with, it was just about sort of the underground smuggling uh, lives of these characters, and it was set up a way I didn't normally see in Star Wars movies. Um, it was really really great. I didn't care for the Darth Maul stuff. because it would have been the first Star Wars thing we saw without a lightsaber, and it doesn't need to be tied into some other thing. We don't need the stinger. Again, go read some comics with Jenna. In that episode, where she talks about the superhero genre, she mentions James Mangold talking about post credit scenes, and it's very, very interesting. He basically says, like, a post credit scene is a commercial for and a promise of something that may or may not happen, and it also means that you didn't stick your landing. So you have to put in some sort of clickbaity endy thing to leave people leaving the theater happy. So for me, like, I don't need these big event things. I don't need these like stingers. I don't need to see like fan service. I don't need to see Yoda in the acolyte. Um, I want to see them taking different style of movies and just setting them in the Star Wars universe. Growing up, saw Goonies in the theater. Was a big fan of Goonies. Stand by Me, Explorers. If you haven't seen Explorers, I highly recommend Explorers. All of those kind of Amblin style kids on bike stuff that I enjoyed when I was a kid before Stranger Things made it popular again. Um, but to be able to see a show like that set in the Star Wars universe was really enjoyable. I really like Skeleton Crew. Again, they almost made it without putting a lightsaber in, but there was a lightsaber. Um, but for the most part, it was just like basically a kid's adventure show. Just happened to take place in the Star Wars universe. My friend Mick did the music to that show, and I think he knocked it out of the park. So if you get a chance, go listen to the score to Skeleton Crew, and then check out. I mean, just check out, like, that's what I want. That's what gets me excited with Star Wars. Something new and something different. It doesn't. I know people don't like Skeleton Crew, but I don't know why. It's something different. It's something fresh. I don't like Star Wars getting stale. Um, so for me, that's what I want. Also from superhero shows, I want something new, something fresh. And listen, I've read Green Lantern since 1990, and I've read every galactic story. If they want to take this lore and put it into a grounded, true detective style story, I'm fine with that because I haven't seen it before. What are they going to do? Do an adaptation of Blackest Night? It's not going to be as good as the books because the books are fucking incredible. Green Lantern the animated series is an amazing show, and I think one of the reasons is they changed up the formula. They basically made it Star Trek. They made it Star Trek, but with Green Lanterns. You know, they took a sort of genre and and you know set it in the Green Lantern universe. This is so funny. It's so funny. Jaleel White was in Skeleton Crew as a pirate, like in a like, and again, he was just like kind of a background guy. He showed up a little bit. He wasn't like a main part of the story, but it was fun. It was a callback to like the 80s and 90s. Um, Dude, perfect. If Starfighter is Drive in space, great. I think that'd be a lot of fun. George Lucas, obviously a fan of car culture and stuff. So, if it was basically just like American Graffiti in space, that'd be great. But yeah, Drive in space would be perfect. I like Drive. Drive is a fun movie. It's a little disturbing, and Starfighter doesn't have to go that hard, but like it would be interesting to see just something different. As much as I like seeing Sigourney Weaver in a X-wing flight outfit, how many people do we need to see in X-wing flight outfits? I don't think I knew that Aaron Pierre was in it, dude. Did I know that? I had to have known that. I'm so Green Lantern focused now and not Star Wars focused now that that I forgot that. now I'm now I'm really excited. Now I'm really really excited. Vector said earlier that Starfighter's like my next big thing. I'm like, now definitely should make him James Bond. Make Aaron Pierre James Bond. I'd be fine with that. Shit, that would be fucking awesome. Then also he need to be in a Godzilla movie, and then he'd be in all my favorite IP. It's the only reason you want to see it. You don't like Ryan Gosling? Project Hail Mary was good. I like him. I like him. So yeah, I'm excited. I mean, Star Wars is great. I love Star Wars. I'll be celebrating Star Wars Day on May 25th, like I have been doing since like I don't know whenever I got the VHS in like 1988, 1989. Almost as long, probably as long as I've been reading Green Lantern. Um, so yeah, Star Wars is fine, and if people like having fun on May the 4th, great, great. I just don't like the corporate aspect of it, and I don't like that people will only come out of the woodwork on that day. Celebrate Star Wars year round if you love it. I celebrate it every week with my Jar Jar signed picture and Oscar's BB-8. You know. All right, guys. I think that's going to be it. Yeah, my new camera bag's here. You can't see it, but I have a Kyle Rayner logo on there. But I also have Star Wars Celebration 2020 patch. The Star Wars Celebration that didn't happen. Kyle Chandler did a couple Godzillas, yeah. Now we just need to get him into Star Wars and make him James Bond. No. It's basically like the Ralph EGOT is Star Wars, Green Lantern, um, James Bond, and what was the other one? Godzilla. Yeah. Yeah. I think Aaron Pierre's got a shot to get the Ralph EGOT. I don't even know what you would call that. Bond, Godzilla, BG, Star Wars S, Green Lantern, BGGS. Yeah, Franz is going nuts, and I should be making rice for dinner. So I'm going to take off. This is like the longest member stream I think I've done. Thank everybody for joining me and participating and coming in and chat. Will, thanks for coming on. Everybody should already be following Green Lantern's podcast on this in this group of supporters. So if you're not, go follow Green Lantern's podcast. Subscribe on audio as well as the YouTube. Anytime he posts, I turn on the YouTube video of his while I'm getting ready for work, and I'll give it a hype. And then on the way to work, I'll put on the IO version. So I actually listen to it twice. I never told Will that, but yeah. Darren, catch you later. I'll see all you guys later. Thanks for showing up. Dave, Will. I'll be back in 2 days. I'll be doing a stream on Wednesday. Have no idea what it's going to be. So if you have any suggestions, always just leave them in the comments, and I'll see if I can do that. Maybe I'll try to decipher this book in Spanish on my own and do a review. We'll see. All right, guys. Thanks again, and I'll catch you in a couple days. Goodbye.